Maryland sports fans, there's only one sports book in the great state of Maryland with over 50 years experience booking bets and supporting customers. Betfred Sportsbook at Longshots is now open and is the only sportsbook in Frederick offering cash betting on football, basketball, world soccer, and more. Visit the Betfred Sportsbook at I-270 and MD-85 in Frederick, right next to Longshots off-track betting. Go to BetfredSports.com for more information and your chance to win exclusive merchandise. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Okay. All right, kids.
Now you know the idea of the new technology recording device. You have now walked into every music journalist or journalist's nightmare. You do the interview on phone, and then you go to play it back. This is back when they had tape recorders, kids. Look it up. And you'd go, oh, fuck me. It didn't record?
It's
the worst of that was to make a connection back to our obsession with Pet Shop Boys when I did a transatlantic call with our boyfriend and baby daddy for the babies neither one of us are not having anymore, Neil Tennant. And so I had to then go, oh, shit, not only did I not record this, but I didn't record it for someone who's 6 hours ahead of me.
No, even worse. I was hanging with a friend of mine who's a magazine editor, and she had just come from doing...
know people who magazine it? There's still magazines?
Believe it or not. And she had her tape recorder. She had just come from the interview. Right. And then I was in L.A. She came to pick me up someplace, and we went to eat. And her recorder in the purse hit and started recording over her interview. So she starts going home to transcribe. As soon as she starts transcribing, we were talking about Larry. Wait, we were talking about Larry. Wait, but here's the fierce part. We were talking about Larry Blackman and Cameo, and the tape starts playing, and she's starting to transcribe. And next thing you know, she says, all of a sudden my voice comes in and says, well, you know, the con piece was Gautier. She was like, oh my God.
No, I didn't know. I mean, well, to his credit.
FYI, it's us. I'm going to let you finish. We're back, kids. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We're just like so desperate. We are recording on the old phones.
Miss Thing, this show is so Jimmy.
We can't even. Remember how we were a couple months ago kind of going, come on down to Chinatown. Everybody, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Now we are in, okay, I am on self-quarantine.
Right.
Because let's face it, I don't want to see anybody anyway, but I am on self-quarantine because, and I feel fine, but I was inadvertently possibly exposed to it. So it's because I am a good citizen and I believe I'm flattening curves. Even though I am a curvy girl, I want to flatten those curves. I am staying home. And luckily for us in New York, it has been shitty for the last 3 days, so I don't feel the need. It
is so completely shitty. FYI.
And cold.
Cold. Hold on, let me do this intro first. Let me do this intro.
Yes.
So listen, kids, this show is put together with sticks, telephones, bad mics. So yeah, we might sound like shit, but we're going to bring it to you anyway because fuck it. You guys missed us. We miss you. And stop talking at the same time. And
well, the show is called ImmaLetYouFinish.
Yes, but you got to let me finish.
No, but I can't see you.
You still won't stop and won't let me finish. It's like, let me finish.
Okay,
see, this is how excited... Girl, this is how excited we are to bring you this show because we've been trying to figure out ways to do it. You know, we record in a great studio. We miss our guys. By the way, we're brought to you in partnership with Listening Party Presents. Shout out to Peter and Ryan and all of the other shows. You know, we all miss you so much, right?
Hope you guys are doing well.
Yeah, we hope everybody's doing well. All of our pals down at Canal Street Market, you know, nobody could have predicted this. But
Smith.
Yeah, Robert Smith.
I'm worried about Robert Smith.
Robert Smith. I know.
Robert Smith. Robert Smith.
You know, so we're coming to you over the phone So forgive us if we don't sound whatever, but we're still the same OS. So,
we're social distancing. Like,
and listen, follow us on our Facebook page too, and I'm gonna let you finish because we're there a lot of times, lots of discussions going on. We're posting every day, we talk, we're back and forth. It's Facebook, I'm gonna let you finish. We're still on Instagram and I'm gonna let you finish NY. We're still on Twitter at Finish Imma, and we're commenting. We're trying to stay really active and be our witty, crazy self. So our girl Amy is self-quarantining because she's on the board of her building, and people in her building decided to be, taking part in our good girlfriend Rona's spring tour.
Well, that's not why. I mean, they didn't target me. Though I did find out, and I did find out that, okay, so another woman, we were at this person's apartment, and, I am probably being abundantly cautious, but like I said, if I were that person who knew somebody and I wasn't being abundantly cautious, I'd be pissed. But it turns out that this person, I saw them in the lobby like about 10 days ago wearing a mask and gloves, and it turns out he had it and he knew it, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So that's all I got to say about that.
Right.
But I am being abundantly cautious, and I have.
Listen, it's smart. You should be abundantly cautious, right? It's like, it's not a game,
No, it's not a game.
So clearly not a game. The beginning when, listen, both Amy and I absolutely took it seriously from the beginning. So, we're saying these little jokes because it's like, sometimes you have to laugh and find humor in.
It's gallows
really,
humor. It's gallows
humor.
Yeah.
In really sort of scary situations, right? But I don't want everybody to live in fear. We want people to be smart and to be safe. Think about yourself. Think about your neighbors. Think about your friends. Check on your friends. Check on your strong friend. Everybody always thinks that the strong friend doesn't need people to check on them. Check on them like they check on you, And I've been getting,
for sure. No,
I've been having a lot of that. I've had people reaching out from all over. I've had people, then you've had the ones reaching out. I've always liked you. I'm like, we're not dying. Don't come to me with the I've always liked you. I don't know why we didn't go out bullshit. I'm like, look, send dick pics, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to be. I mean, I was cautious before. We've all been, but it starts to make you realize, I love Trader Joe's, but I really don't need the dill pickle popcorn. Really?
Oh, but let me just tell you, so my latest obsession is
good,
dill chips. I've been.
Oh, those are good. No,
oh
those
my
are good.
God, dill chips and the Charles dill potato chips, they're so fucking
No,
good.
Everything. I mean, I have cravings for food I didn't even realize. But suddenly I'm like, I have pizza dough. I want to make pizza. I have never had never remotely had. My son Lucian gets a package here the other day, and it's chickpea pasta. I'm like, qu'est-ce que c'est? It's really good.
Is it?
No, he said it's true. I don't know. I haven't had it yet. He told me.
See, I've been eating my whole grain pasta. Yeah. I would try chickpea pasta. I would try that. I love a chickpea.
I love a chickpea, and I will be eating a lot of them. I will say one thing that is kind of sort of a bummer about this. Now, I'm lucky I have an outdoor space so I can go outside and just kind of get air. But the thing that is kind of a bummer is my son came over yesterday, and he's also being really good about this, and it was sort of like, I haven't hugged my kid in 3 weeks, which is sort of depressing.
I have a friend of mine who just told me she hasn't kissed her husband in 18 days.
I haven't kissed her husband in 18 days either.
She was like, because they had both been working, so they're like quarantining in different parts of the house, and she was like, I haven't kissed him in like 18 days.
Yeah, no, so that's kind of the part where you sit there and you're like, but my neighbors who are very nice. They have this really cute dog who I liked before, and I have cats, but cats don't give you the same thing. And I said, could you send the dog over so I can play with the dog? And so they said
because cats are definitely on their own,
No, but it's actually been nicer. The cats have been a lot nicer, but do you know that animal shelters they always have problems getting people to adopt animals? And I've read that all animal shelters are like, it's like toilet paper in Target. They're cleared.
Yeah, they've kind of been cleared. People have, but you have a lot of people who care for animals, and they were like, we don't want them to be alone in the shelters. And they were saying that people have kind of cleared out a bunch of the shelters, which is a good thing, right? But what we don't want is when this is over, then everybody to rush back and shove them all back in, and being like the novelty is over,
Right, like the bunny for Easter.
Right.
Like I don't want to. I think I think a lot of people are getting pets so they have an excuse to leave the house. I have to leave the house. I have to walk No, but pets are very comforting. pets and food and everything. All right, but no.
And Law and Order. I've been watching a lot of Law and Order.
Well, what else? That's a normal Tuesday for you, isn't it? I mean, but
yeah.
you and I hate the fact when they play the Law and Order, anything post Elliot Stabler on SVU.
Yeah, that's what
it doesn't count.
I can go a little bit into the Danny years. I can do the Danny years. But when we start getting behind that, and then we have Carisi and all of that shit, I really don't care. And Kelly and Amanda and all her issues. I had a love-hate with Danny. I didn't think he was the right guy. I thought that they should have gotten like a New York Latin dude to be one of the cops, and give me that energy. That would have been really, really, really great. But yeah, like to me, he was very like Miami, and I wasn't into it.
That Danny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about when Mariska Hargitay left for a little bit, and they had that like Danish actress come in.
I love Connie Nielsen. Well, yeah, that was because Mariska had a baby.
But I didn't like her.
I liked her.
I liked her because he was kind of like giving you like a very third-rate Jimmy Smith fucked up Latin thing. I could deal with him. I could deal with him because
third-rate Jimmy Smith.
It was the first. I can't think so. He was
and
like,
what is second? Who's second-rate Jimmy Smith?
Jimmy Smith's right now.
That's so shit.
You know what is interesting about the Law and Order? About if you watch if you watch the original Law and Order from the very beginning, Captain Cragen literally talked differently than he does on SVU. He was real like snarky and on the original Law and Orders, and now with SVU he's thoughtful, and it's like no.
But when you watch the original Law and Order, I mean, even the way they wrote racist. Like the oh my God, that's so racist.
We talked about this the last time.
The way they wrote the black characters and the Latino characters and the caricatures that they did with the Asian characters. I saw one the other day, and it was the one where the beginning of the episode starts with the Asian delivery man comes into the Asian restaurant to get the cops because the person upstairs wasn't there to pay. And the way they had him talking and acting, I was like, if somebody put this on a show today, right now, people would be outraged. And then the way they spoke to like the black characters and the criminals in those
every
first three
Puerto Rican
seasons.
character lived with their abuela. Like nobody had their own apartment. They always put in like the abuela who had like the Jesus candles and Our Lady Guadalupe. Every single one of them lived in the project, and everything was like the abuela. I did not know he had a gun.
I know, it was so horrible.
He had a gun, and all the white kids were either prep school kids or like children of Westies.
So, what do you think? First of all, what do you think of the way your president is handling this, and your favorite guy, our governor, Suge Knight?
Governor, hey, that's my tagline. Okay. I think, you know what, honestly, and I'm not saying this to be, like, dismissive, I think at this point saying that Donald Trump has been a soulless, craven fuckwad is like saying today is Sunday.
Right.
It's every low expectation that we had of him. I mean, I will not be surprised that he is going to rebrand this somehow as the tri-state virus and make it like we brought it in, because suddenly he's all concerned that Florida, where their fucking asshole governor wouldn't shut the beaches, but Florida, which is a Republican and a swing state, suddenly he's all concerned that the dirty New Yorkers, the wealthy New Yorkers, just put Jew in there. It would save so much time if you just said that, are going down to Florida, and they're making him sick. So they wanted to shut us down.
Well, his Mar-a-Lago was affected. So, that's everything.
With bed bugs, too. With bed
bugs.
And
what I keep telling everybody is, when, just like he was trying to say, I'm going to open the country back. And guess what, guys? This whole show is not going to be totally corona, but we have to fucking talk about this shit.
Yeah, no, of course.
It's when the decisions are being made are about corporations and finances, then human beings become the disposable commodity, right?
Oh,
so
of course.
we're watching that let's rush and get the country open, and these guys patting themselves on the back, and I'm like, we're in the middle of this. There are still medical professionals screaming on TV. I saw nurses crying because they're scared for their health because they have one mask that they've been using for an entire week. They're supposed to be for one use only.
Well, and the other thing that's really, and so we know this, but people pointed out, this is a president who thinks out loud. So it's like we're hearing the voice.
And by think, you mean just talk out loud, not think.
Well, I'm just saying, he's like riffing. He's just like riffing and, oh, what do you think? So, and then he riffs, and then the actual grown-ups in the room, such as they are, come in and go, no, you can't do that. And then he gets to turn around and make it sound like my people are taking strong action. By the way, I think someone has kidnapped Dr. Deborah Birx, because first off, she blinks all the time when she's on stage. I think she's sending out Morse code. I really do. And I think the positioning of her scarf is like an indication, like flags, like semaphores. But also, she's suddenly going on about how he's a genius at data and how he can integrate data. So we have to just save Anthony Fauci, because Anthony Fauci is our only lifeline to reality. And not for nothing, why every time they have an event are these motherfuckers, except for Fauci, standing so close to each other that sharing pens, standing close to each other? I mean, Courtney, I know men like to lie about inches, but that's not 6 feet.
Now, there's a couple of things that really upset me. Like, when they signed the bill, he didn't invite any of the Democrats. This was a bipartisan bill, and you're still playing politics. You always scream it's not time for politics, but you're playing it at the highest levels, And it's really, it's just,
of course.
This response has been disgusting. Like, you cannot ignore the fact that in the first weeks of this, when you should have been on it, this motherfucker was like, it's a hoax. It's a hoax. It's the Democrats. They just don't want to lose the election. They want to ruin my election. And Donald Trump Jr. was on Fox TV saying the Democrats want 2 million people to die so that my father will lose the election. It's a hoax. It's a hoax.
That's when it's going to happen. Yay.
I don't know if he's going to lose the election. I've been telling you from the beginning that I think he's not going to lose.
The election. The Donald.
No. Oh, yeah. That's it's, listen. There's already been a bunch of people around, and I want to, send a shout out to Nasham Wooden's family, because,
someone
Nasham,
died yesterday.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nasham was a New York nightlife legend, and a lot of the stories I've been reading, they've reduced him to being Mona Foote, and Nasham was not Mona Foote for a gazillion years, you know what I mean? He was part of the Ones, a great nighttime group collective. He was the manager and longtime bartender and manager of the Cock for a gazillion years, and everybody loved Nasham, So it's like you see all of this, and like you just said, somebody dies. This shit is real. It's touching people, and it's really scary, because at first it was stories on TV, and now in my life, it's once removed from my circle in a lot of places, which makes me scared, because if it's once removed, you know what I mean? How long before it is somebody who's directly in my life?
Well, I think the problem is, and I mean, as we talked about it, a month ago, I was supposed to go on vacation in April. A month ago, to appease my parents, I said, I will go to my doctor and I will say, what do you think? And my doctor, who's no bullshit, said, you know what, take precaution, but here's some masks. Just take precaution. And within 10 days, the country that I was going to go to shut its borders. So much for that. The thing is, and I live near Brooklyn Hospital, which is a huge epicenter now, and it's frightening. You hear ambulances, I know in my mind that yes, 80% of the people who get this are going to be okay. But it's just that thing where you're like, what was the underlying condition? It's like back in the day with HIV. You'd sit there and you'd read the obituary going, oh, were they gay? Oh, okay, I'm off the hook. Were they a drug addict? Oh, okay, I'm off the hook. It's
but see, that shit was different for me back in the day. Like I lived through that shit. Back in the day, it used to be friends of mine were going to the friends of mine would be going to the hospital on Friday. We'd be like, okay, we're going to see them on Monday, but they were dead by Monday.
Oh yeah.
And that's what's happening with this. You notice people are falling ill, and there's like to see these guys patting themselves on the back, and Trump all of the shit with the ventilators. Well, I don't know if they need that many. It's like, get the people what they need. I see the medical professionals on TV every day saying, we don't have what we need. It's really crazy.
Did you hear him say now he's saying that New York got them, but they lost them? Because, you know,
I'm
it's
sorry,
a huge
what?
machine. No, well, I don't even. He said that. Oh, we sent them to New York, but New York misplaced them. They don't know where they are. They're somewhere, like in a, you know, in a warehouse somewhere.
It's like, sir, we're in the. There's no lost anything right now. There's nothing lost.
Nothing. All right, I want to talk. Let's talk about Governor Suge Knight.
Okay.
All right, so I have to. We're talking about Andrew Cuomo. Now I have to explain why I call him Governor Suge Knight, and I called him Governor Suge Knight before because. All right, I have to backtrack. Many, many years ago, when the Boston Marathon bombing, remember that?
Yes.
Okay, so I hate the city of Boston. I really do. On a daily basis, I fucking hate Boston, partially because I'm a New Yorker in sports, and you can relate. Okay. So the Boston
Yes, but we love our
Marathon,
listeners in Boston. We love you guys. But I'm not the biggest fan of Boston either. But, you know, we do have people who listen from there.
Okay, well, whatever. I'm sorry that they have to live in Boston, but I'm glad they listen to us. Okay, so the Boston Marathon happened. It's obviously a horrible thing. It's obviously tragic, blah, 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 blah. And it happened right around playoff season, basketball playoff season. And it was awful, yay, Boston strong, oh, this is terrible. And I remember at one point, Lucian, I guess he was like in high school, turns to me and goes, okay, I know this is going to sound really insensitive, but when can we start hating Boston again because the playoffs are about to start? And I went, I think it's been 3 weeks. We can go back to hating them now. All right, so that's how I feel about Andrew Cuomo. He is doing a phenomenal job right now.
Yes,
and I call him Governor Suge Knight because he's a thug. He's a brawler. He always has been.
Always has been.
Always. He's kind of dirty. He's kind of arrogant. He drove.
Oh, no, he's an asshole.
He's an asshole. Let's put it this. He's an asshole. He's sort of like, he didn't have any of the good qualities of Mario, the sainted Mario, who I loved. Blah, 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 blah. So he's always been a dick. He's always been like anti-progressive politics in a lot of ways. Now he is doing a phenomenal job. Of course, when compared to Trump and de Blasio, my cat would be doing a phenomenal job. But he is amazing. And it's great. I actually had a moment where I was...
Did you see that photo up of de Blasio supposedly helping them put boxes of equipment on the truck?
Yeah.
And he's like, one box. And I'm like, I'm going to need you to actually look like you're helping and not like the cameras are here.
Don't even get me started. So the good thing is that Cuomo, in many ways, along with rising to the occasion, is driven by his hatred of de Blasio and Trump. So that's a good thing.
He can't stand Bill de Blasio.
No, and vice versa. No, they hate each other. And which is a good thing in terms of motivation. We'll take our motivation, but Cuomo also is responsible for a lot of cutbacks. And so when everybody now is, oh my God, Andrew Cuomo, he should be president. Oh my God, he's amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, they forget all the other shit. No, it's the Giuliani effect. Remember, everybody's like 9/11 is like Giuliani was the mayor of the world. I'm like, yeah, but guess what? On September 10th, we hated him.
Yeah, we hated him. And September 10th, Giuliani was an impotent, wife-cheating racist. Cuomo is not that bad by any stretch.
No, but he's like, he does dumb shit like, you know, he ran the new MTA chief who was really doing shit well, and because that credit shit, he ran him out of there. He has this shit with him. I like him, but he's got a lot of shit with him. And he has stepped up in a leadership way that makes you look at him and say, okay, well, at least I believe the shit that's coming out of your mouth.
No, for sure. And I think he's great, and I love the charts and graphs, and I love the slogans, and I love the stuff that he's talking about, the mental toll of this, that this is very damaging in a lot of ways. But let's remember, none of us voted for him for the 3 times he's run for governor. I didn't vote for him. I voted for the opposition. I voted for fucking Cynthia Nixon, okay? Give me a break. Nobody is less qualified to be governor than Cynthia Nixon, and she was my favorite character on Sex and the City. But the point is that, and so there will be a time when we are through this, and things come back to normal, when we can go back to say, Andrew Cuomo's a dick. But right now, we need a dick. Oh, we need a dick. Oh, there's a segue for you.
Can I just say, send dick pics. Send dick pics. Send something. Send me something. I'll take either a dick pic or a pizza. I'm not picky.
Ooh, what if we combine? Maybe we can combine the two?
Oh, right, a dick pizza. Somebody send me a dick pizza.
Well, wait a minute. Isn't that always one of the stereotypes of the porn film? It's like whack, whack, whack.
Well, those are the old 70s ones where it was like the delivery guy and all of that. Yeah. Nowadays, honey, none of the porn has stories anymore. Now it's hi, stick it in.
Right, but also, and then delivery guys, it's contactless. You get nothing. What do you feel? Let me ask you this. So anyway, Andrew Cuomo, Governor Strickland, what do you feel, and I'm being very serious, I'm not a big takeout girl. I've always been like I go to the store or whatever. What do you feel about this whole idea? All right, so basically essential services are being kept open. So doormen, nurses, and doctors, obviously, MTA workers, obviously, and grocery store clerks, right? Restaurants have been closed. So there is now this whole underclass, which there always has been, but now it's even more noticeable when you go to a 365 or a Trader Joe's. Everyone who's working there is
black and brown.
Well, not so much at Trader Joe's, but definitely at Whole Foods. And you're like, okay, they're earning minimum wage. I know at Trader Joe's they get health benefits and they get treated a lot better. But it's kind of weird. It's like, all right, do I have the food deliver and put them in danger? Or do I?
And let's just start by saying the truth, that a lot of these people you're seeing are also the immigrants that have been denigrated by this administration, doing that work. Going in, when I was in the market, all of the people I saw who were shopping, doing the shopping for like Instacart and all of those deliveries, walking around were black and brown people, you know, and you know, here's the fucked up part of this. You realize just how much it's a great equalizer because those people don't have any money. But then you look at the top, there are people I know who live in fabulous apartments who are always dressed to the nines and wearing high-end shoes and shit, and they're like, I don't have my rent for April 1st. So it just lets you see what I think this whole thing showed you is just how much everybody needs to stop looking at Instagram and all of this shit and being jealous of all of these people's lives.
Except for our Instagram.
But no, I'm making a serious point. It is really showing how, people are showing you their fabulous life, but they ain't got no money. People don't have enough savings to pay the next month's rent without their job. There's no bank account. Look, the Cheesecake Factory has been the Cheesecake Factory for a gazillion years, and they're like, we're not paying rent on our stores on April 1st. It's like you couldn't get to 1 month with service stopped. You see what I'm saying? No one has any money. No one has, very few people have enough savings to say, I can pay April's rent and bills. What's going to happen if this goes to May? Because if people are falling apart, and I think watching some of these restaurants and bars be open, to me, I worry about them because no one has frozen rents or mortgages in the city. No bars open. No bars. Well, no, some bars are open because the bars, they lifted the ban of being able to sell takeout liquor. So if you can do it, people can order drinks from you and you can do takeout liquor. Wow. Yes. Just because of this, because they know rents in all parts of this country are crazy, but the retail and commercial rents in New York were already driving so many people out. And I just think there's I think there's so many businesses that absolutely won't be able to recover. So say you don't pay your rent for 3 months. All right, there's a moratorium on evictions. So you open back up, let's say June. How do you make up owing April, May, and June rent?
Food and stuff like that. I mean, you know what I mean? I mean, the thing is really kind of, it's just driving home this, that we always knew it, but it's just showing it in stark circumstances, the divide. There are a lot of people who can't literally afford to work at home. What if you don't have a job where you work? Like I have 3 jobs. One of them was just a contract thing, and I will continue to get paid because I had signed the contract, and I'm good for, I'll get my measly money. Well, I mean, I still have to be working. The other 2 are teaching. Yeah, but still, it's something coming in, you know? Right, but I'm saying the other 2 are teaching. But the other one, the last one, I work for the DOE, Department of Education, but I'm not a full-time employee. I'm a contracted worker. So I'm out 4 months worth of money.
Right.
That's it. I can't file for unemployment. You can't file for unemployment. When you're a college professor and you work the school year, teachers are not allowed to file for unemployment on the time that they're
I had
off.
no idea. Are you kidding?
No, I'm dead serious. Once your contract, my contract was like CUNY, right?
Right.
The City University of New York. So I have a contract. It starts when the school year starts, which is like August, and then it ends in December, right? And then we have a month and a half off. I can't file for that month and a half because they know I'm coming back. So in the summer, even if they said, you're coming back, it's guaranteed, here's your office, I cannot file for unemployment.
Wow. And, you know, listen, I was supposed to I was commissioning 2 videos that was going to put great money in my pocket. Those are gone. You know, gone.
Yeah.
Don't know.
And it's not coming back.
Don't know if it's going to come back, right? So it's like, definitely, most of my friends, listen, I know a couple of people who still work directly for companies who are being paid. The majority of my friends who are like publicists or different things and outside of companies and have their contracts are definitely sitting back looking, saying, my money right now has stopped. And I know some people who have savings who are like, you know, they're thugging through it, you know, and then I have other friends who are just kind of like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what I'm paying, what I'm not paying, what am I going to, you know, this is a full survival mode for everyone and the great equalizer. So what I want to say to everybody listening is stop looking on Instagram and being like, wow, look at their life is so great. Because a lot of those motherfuckers right now are sitting there trying to figure out what am I going to do on Wednesday, April 1st. Yeah, they got all their shoes and all of that shit, but what they don't have is the money for the rent for that apartment that you see pictures of all of the time.
Well,
and those shoes and bags ain't going to do it.
Well, that's the stupidity of social media anyway, because you're getting your cues from anyone on social media, you know, I mean, but it's just a very frightening thing, and the whole stupidity of, you know, the economy, I'm not saying the economy is stupid, obviously that's very serious, and that's all that's motivating Trump, but if New York City is not functioning, then there is no economy. Full stop. We are New York City, California, Chicago, you know, we are the economy. The literal stock, and the stock market is not a gauge of the fucking economy. It's a gauge of the stock market. You know, the gauge of the economy is people's wages. And so, I'm looking outside. Look, hi, there's no one on the street. Anyway, and it's going to be very interesting in terms of how is the industry going to change. You see all these ads on TV now where everybody's like, we at Ford Motor Company know that it's hard for you to be indoors. What? Everybody's changed their advertising.
There's been a lot of,
You love our food. Now you can get it delivered. Who gets Denny's delivered?
I'm sure there's somebody. Listen, the thing for me about all of that, I don't care what the company is. If that means keeping some people employed who need that check, then I'm down for it.
True.
Because the restaurant people, you think about all of your favorite waiters and bartenders when you go out in your little spot. They're the ones who are
such
really
a better
affected.
life than I do. I have like a guy in the corner who makes coffee and sells falafel. I don't have a favorite.
Yeah, but you know what? I worry for him too. You know what I mean? Because if no one's going outside to get his falafel and his coffee, he still has his overhead. He probably has his family.
Still buying his weed, so he'll be okay.
Oh.
You know what's really fucking sad?
Send weed, people. If you love our show, send a joint.
Courtney needs weed.
I ran out last week. It's a sad story. It's a sad
I actually
story.
saw something really, I mean, not to get all heavy and deep and weird about it, but I saw something that was posted somewhere in The Guardian or something like that. So, for obvious reasons, they cannot have NA and AA meetings now because it's a gathering of more than 10 people.
Are they doing them virtually, like Zoom
They're doing
or
it
something?
virtual, but that's assuming that, you know, sometimes if you're if you've got...
I
have students who live in shelters. I have students... Where are you supposed to get that free internet access? Every place where you get it is closed, right?
That's
you can't
true.
go to Starbucks. You know?
That's true.
So all of a sudden you have people who are under inordinate amount of stress.
Wow,
you know?
I didn't even think about that.
Who have substance abuse problems. I mean, I gotta say, I'm trying to find some wood to knock on. Hold on. There, I just knocked on some wood. I can't believe that people I know haven't fallen off the wagon. I mean,
I didn't even think about how
isolated.
those people would be affected. You know what? It's so crazy that you would say that. It didn't even dawn on me that with everything shutting down, because I know someone who goes to a meeting, you know, he's been sober now for 15 years, and he goes to a meeting every morning. Like, his routine is get up very early. He goes to the gym. He has a meeting that happens at like 6 a.m. in the morning. You know what I mean? He has his meeting every day.
That's the person you need to check in on everybody, but that's the person you really need to check in on, because this is somebody who is dealing with, it's not like a doctor's appointment. It's not like, obviously, if you're going through dialysis, you go to your doctor. They're not saying you can't do that if you're going through something. But this is something for real, for real. You're isolated. You're scared. You're being, to use a word I cannot stand, triggered right and left. Listen, yesterday when I found out about this woman dying, and it was just, I'll tell you who it is later, but I was just like shaking. And she's not even someone I knew super well, but I'd met her a couple times.
No, but that's the thing.
I could put the face. Suddenly I was like,
you're like, I've had a conversation with this person. You know what I mean? I've seen this person. They're not on TV. They're not in the newspaper. I knew this person. That's how I feel about Nashawn. It was like, Nashawn and I weren't friends, but Nashawn and I saw each other for 30 years. You know what I mean? We're both New York boys. And, you know, he would always... And, you know, I was introduced to him through our friend Bill a couple of times because, you know, he was part of the Ones and Bill worked with the Ones. And when I would see him and I would come to the bar and the bar could be crowded, he would see my face and acknowledge me and say, what do you want to drink? It was like that thing of old school New Yorkers. It's that thing about being black gay men in this city. It's that thing of surviving so much shit and still being there and seeing each other. So, you know, it was like, it kind of hit me, that one hit me like a punch in the stomach, you know, because it was just like, wow, you know, I've had a conversation with this person. I've been in the room with this person. I've sat and gone to this person's shows. I've interacted with this person. This isn't some...
real. It's not a statistic anymore.
Right. So certainly when I hear all of those numbers, when they're always saying numbers, I'm thinking, you mean souls, families, because each one of those numbers, there's somebody devastated and upset. Each one of those numbers has affected somebody greatly, you know?
Yeah, no, of course. Numbers are an abstract. Things don't become real. This will not become real to the flyover states and to his base, you know, until they start seeing it. Right now, it's still listen, we were kind of the same way, too. We saw what was going on in China, and it was awful, but you're like, well, I'm not fucking going to Wuhan, so who cares? You know? And then it starts moving to other cities, and then suddenly it's like, I've been to Italy. I've been to Italy. Yeah, wow, that's a beautiful city. Oh, I've been to Barcelona. Oh shit! It's my friends in London. I've been to London. I understand, and everyone knows what New York looks like. And yeah. So that's what. But yeah, I read this article and went, like, these are people who are, you know, the homeless. I usually work at a soup kitchen every week because I'm a saint and because I like to steal the food because it's really good. I get the ice cream sandwiches every week. I say I'm not going to take all of them. Had I known. And I'm not going today because, you know, I feel I have to self-quarantine. But, you know, these are people who, on a good day, are fucking living a horrible life. Where are they supposed to self-quarantine if they can't go?
My mother is the head of the feeding ministry for her church, and she still goes. And she's 79, and I fight with her about leaving. She's in Richmond. She was like, these are the most vulnerable people. I need to make sure they eat. So she doesn't interact anymore because they're not letting them come into the dining room anymore. They're making the meals to go. But she's there cooking that food, and she goes still on Mondays to the food bank where they go and get all of the food for the church. And she's like, this is the time when you have to help the most vulnerable people. Where if we don't feed them, they're not going to eat.
I know, I normally go. I just am not going today because I'm self-quarantined.
Yeah, you have to self-quarantine. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that it's very easy to say all these people with their little banners on Facebook, work at home, shelter home. What if you don't have a fucking home? What if your home is the shelter?
What if your home, what if the place is like these kids who went to school, that was their safe place because their home is not a safe place? You know, I think about that too. There are a lot of people whose school was the safe place because home wasn't a safe place.
And
you know?
a lot of kids in New York City, I just found out that one of my college students, we're trying to do as much as we can online. It's difficult. We're doing what we can. And he said, hey, I don't have access to internet because I live in a shelter. Okay. Wow. Okay. So a lot of New York City kids, more than there should be, live in shelters, right? So how are they supposed to get their fucking internet to go online?
Well, wasn't the thing that they were giving out, you just had to go on and do the application online, they were giving out Wi-Fi enabled iPads. That was happening. That I do know.
You have to have, no, they're not giving out Wi-Fi enabled iPads. They're giving out phones.
Well, whatever it is, that still, it can get you everything that you need and you can get online.
Right.
Sometimes we're all having to make do. This is some unprecedented shit. Like nothing's going to be perfect. You know what I mean? I think you just sometimes you gotta take that sliver and make that shit work.
No. I'm talking about children. I'm talking about a child who doesn't have, you can't expect a child, where are they supposed to pick up the Wi-Fi? If there's someplace where there's no internet.
And so the phones are enabled with capability to get online. They are.
Okay. I read
you just have to go. You just have to go online, and I got those things, and I don't even have kids. If you don't have Wi-Fi at home, you need Wi-Fi enabled device. Fill this out.
All right. Well, like I said, hopefully that is getting sorted out. I mean, the whole school. All right. Say something amusing. Let's think of something amusing that's going on.
Well, all of the celebrities are now giving you, and DJs are giving you live concerts at home so that everybody can be. First of all, the first night of D Nice was great, and I think his music has been great. But the fact that even turned into some weird celebrity shit where it's like, Janet Jackson's here, Oprah's here. It's like, so everybody's at home in the same boat, and motherfuckers are still writing stories and worried about Janet Jackson. Oh, wait, Can we talk about something shady, bitch? What happened to Ebony? What happened to Ebony.com? Because suddenly it's gone. Quietly during the pandemic.
Didn't they go out of business a long time ago?
No, bitch, they were still around. That's the thing. And suddenly Ebony.com is gone. That's been going around. All the black kids are like, y'all waiting for this pandemic to finally pull the plug and sneakily go away?
I got my check before they went under, thank God. I got out of there. Well,
I'm sorry. Did you? Wait. Hold on. You got a check from Ebony. What did you do for Ebony?
Oh, excuse me. Hello. I am Amy Linden. I write blogs. You know that.
I know that, but they weren't paying nobody. So what check did you get from Ebony?
Years ago. The last thing I wrote from it was a review of the Amy Winehouse movie. So that's how long ago it was. And I'm like, bitch,
I'm talking about presently. You're coming up with fucking.
No. I said back then.
2010.
I'm saying I stopped writing for them when they stopped paying. Basically, that was the end of that when they switched ownership. No, the celebrity.
What do you think about all of the at-home DJs? What do you think about all of the at-home DJ moments and the virtual parties? And
fun.
Now like the online concerts.
Well, we're entering a whole new paradigm. This might be going on for months. People still want to be entertained. Is an online concert ever going to replace it? No. Is it democratizing everything? Yes, and that's very interesting. It's great to see D Nice play, right? It was great to see Premiere. After the third DJ jumped on or the fourth DJ jumped on and is going, it's like, I don't need to say, hey, I see you out there on the Grande. Hey, I see you. Okay. I'm like, why don't you see me? I'm there.
Right.
I'm there, and I met you when you were 17. Why don't you see me, D-Nice? So I'm glad. Look, it's glad, but this is also not for nothing bringing out everyone's narcissism. Do I need to see the chick who was Wonder Woman singing Imagine? Do I ever need to hear Imagine ever again? It's the worst song ever.
The celebrities, what the world needs now. First of all, you already know. For a person who spent the majority of my career working with celebrities, I don't care about celebrities, like at all. Oh my God, I hate that expression.
I know, that's what I brought it up.
I hate. I'm a celebrity stylist. I'm like, as opposed to what? You know what I'm saying? I'm a celebrity. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. Like, oh, okay. Who'd you do? The girl from Love and Hip Hop Paraguay. But I just think what the world needs now is a bunch of celebrities singing to them, and I'm like, actually, no, we don't.
Yeah,
no one gives a shit. As you're sitting in, as you're sitting in your palatial mansion, be like, it's really complicated. It's so complicated.
Well, they're going through it. They're going through stuff as well, and I'm not.
Everybody, and that's my point. Everybody is. So no, I don't give a fuck about you guys singing Imagine. We're all. This is the great equalizer. The great equalizer.
No, I don't need it. Send a check, and also the fact that you can be like. And Cardi B has something great. I posted it today where she's basically like, if you can be like, and not feel sick and not have any symptoms, but get a private doctor to come in and get you a test, then that's one test that somebody who is really sick, who doesn't have the insurance, can't get. So it's becoming, I want everyone to be tested. Obviously, I want us all to self-quarantine. I want us all to be safe and flatten the curve and stay the fuck off the streets. But once again, it's like celebrity coronavirus seems to be more important than just regular. Let's focus on the nurses. Let's focus on these people who are literally giving their lives, not.
Let's focus on the person who really needs our help and attention right now, which is Joe Exotic. Because Joe is my spirit animal.
I'm not getting it. No, I'm not. I'm sorry. You know,
I want that hair. I think everybody in that show is batshit crazy. They're all crazy.
Well, I will say
all of them.
I just found out today that's not his real singing voice, and that was disappointing to me.
No, it's not his real singing voice at all. I mean, have you watched the whole thing yet?
I am 3/4. I know the story because I read the Vanity Fair story.
No, but I mean, have you seen all the shit like when he's singing at the funeral?
Oh yeah. I saw that. That was great. Yeah, that was like. No, this is like. Look, we all enjoy Free Trump Parade. Okay, we all enjoy the woodwork squeaks and out come the freaks. Especially sitting trapped in a house. This is perfect timing. Also interesting, the guy that started the club Area, it's his first film. And it's interesting that he started out doing a film about he's a conservationist, so that was his thing, and then it just sort of unfolded. It's like, holy crap, what's going on? But the animals, eating animals, freak me out because I'm a vegetarian and I don't want to see that. But it is a shit show. It's the perfect show for a pandemic. It's a shit show, and he's crazy, and
he's absolutely crazy.
No, and I'm always like, you know what, and that's Trump's base right there.
He's crazy. Somebody needs to take Madonna's phone. Please take Madonna's phone. That's all I can say. Take Madonna's phone.
Well, that's
I feel like one of her kids needs to be like, bitch, give me that phone. You're done.
If I posted myself in a bathtub, my child would have been more. My son used to get upset when I would wear low-cut jeans, okay? My child would be like mortified and petition the courts that go live with his father if I had told him shit like that. But yeah, that's.
But then it's like sometimes the shit that she's saying, it's like, shut up. No one wants to hear from you. Just go away.
Nobody cares. The only person I want to see in a bathtub talking about coronavirus is Anthony Fauci. End of story. That's it.
And I don't even want to see him in the bathtub.
Not a bathtub anywhere. He can be wearing his clothes. It's interesting you say that because Anthony Fauci has obviously been around for decades. He was a leading AIDS researcher. He's very important. One of the reasons we have the treatment for HIV. And a friend of mine posted, a gay guy, and he goes, you know, the gays could be having a little crush on him. It wouldn't be, you know, he's a lifesaver. The guy walks the walk, you know what I mean? So, yay, Anthony Fauci. He's not my dream man, but I enjoy him. I enjoy the fact that, like, pushy Italians are having their moment right now. You know, I'm on the health food site, there's no milk. Yeah. No milk.
And while there's no milk?
There's no gallons of milk.
I would also like to thank Dua Lipa for dropping a really dreamy, fun 80s inspired album to give me some energy during these times. Because I put it on and I've just been dancing around my house, you know?
It's a great record.
A little bit of joy and sunshine in all of this.
Yeah, it's a great record. You know, there isn't a lot of music. I mean, it's like I said, it's going to upend everything. I watch movies now. I was watching some movie, and the opening credits were me and Julio down by the schoolyard, and me seeing a Corona, and I heard the word Corona. I'm like, ah! And I threw myself on the ground. So let's also think good thoughts of the people of Corona Queens, who I'm sure are being targeted, and the Corona Ice King of Corona.
And even worse, all of the poor because have you been seeing that all of the news people, like, you know, clearly they're doing their own hair and makeup. And, you know, this 4K HD is not kind to doing your own hair and makeup. Mm-hmm. There have been some people I'm like, oh, wow. You look different.
I am expecting in the mail any day now something that I have not done in 25 years, and that is box dye. And box dye is like smoking sativa for a pothead, box dye for a girl that dyes. And so, I mean, I'm going to do it because my roots look crazy, and even though no one is going to see me, it will just make me feel better about myself. But I have not used box dye.
Can I just say that you are probably my 749th female friend this week that has said to me, well, one, when all of this was happening, went to the beauty supply store, so I bought like 18 boxes of dye so I can do my roots. Yeah. Another one was I just ordered all of this shit from my beauty site for my hair, all of my dye, and I'm doing my roots. Yeah. So everybody's having the, oh no, I will die. even being home quarantined, motherfuckers are like, I'm not looking at my hair gray. I'm dyeing my roots.
You have to get your little, it's the reason why we're craving food that I've never been interested in my life. I'm like, oh, snickerdoodles. I've never had one. I wonder what they taste like. No, you have to make this, I mean, look, all joking aside, this is horrible, horrible, horrible. If you're not able to make yourself look remotely present. I've given up on everything else. I mean, everything else. But the hair, I have very good hair. I have Hungarian hair, and it's very good. And if I can't,
you do have good hair. Yeah, you do.
I do have good hair, right? And if I can't stand next to people, and if I can't think bad thoughts about people, let my hair look good.
No, you're like, can I at least look at myself in the mirror and not be fucking mad? Right. Oh, yeah, you want to give me a shout out?
Yeah, I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to Elena and Jamai, who are two of my favorite former students. I was their teacher for 3 years, and they found me on the interweb, and they were like, Miss Lee, we're listening to your podcast. And I was like, and they're like, all right, I'm not your teacher anymore. Knock yourselves out, girl. So they specifically asked me to shout them out. So Elena and Jamai, who are wonderful, and they're great students and good people, so yay for them. And I'm not even going to talk about Megan McCain because I don't give a fuck about her anymore.
And I want to give a shout out to my friend Joshua, who is in the hospital. And he got the latest results from his bone marrow biopsy.
Tell me good news.
And it appears that there are no traces of leukemia in his body.
Oh, it's a Christmas miracle. Yay.
It's a Christmas miracle. And, you know, so he's still in the hospital. You know, now he's just got to get his other counts up. But that's a looking good thing. And, you know, right now with this pandemic, he couldn't come out anyway. But things are looking up for him. He's been strong. We love Joshua. He's been fighting the good fight. And I love him. And I just want him safe. So that, to me, was a ray of hope in all of this madness.
No, that's against all odds kind of stuff. That's good. It's good to end, you know, kind of on a good note like that. And I look forward to meeting him when this is all over. And hopefully I won't have to buy 2 boxes of box dye. And anything else?
Well, that's it. Listen, guys, maybe we'll come to you a little often. We'll see how this works. You know, we're going to see how we're going to see how it works, and maybe we'll try to do something weekly. We'll check in with you guys. Thank you, Peter and Ryan. Follow Listening Party Presents. Go to Listening Party Presents, their website. Follow Listening Party Presents on Instagram. Follow us at ImmaLetYouFinish NY on Instagram. Follow us on Finish Imma on Twitter. Follow Facebook page where we're active all day, every day. You can reach us. You can talk to us. We're over posting stuff.
I've become Facebook for Garrett Hake from MSNBC, who I think is great. Liked something I wrote, and I'm on cloud nine right now, so I'm just
good thing, I saw when Jim Barber was talking on there, it's like, I'm obsessed with Jim Barber. I was like, oh my God, Jim Barber.
Once this gets done, Jim is a friend of mine. We will have to, because Jim is the best, and he will be very excited that someone is obsessed with him, because usually music critics, we don't get the same level of obsession that other people do.
Oh no, I love Jim Barber. I love him. Well, and I also want to send condolences to my best friend Fred, who lost his mom during this pandemic. But he's being really strong. So send lots of love and strength to the Jackson clan. I miss you too. I miss sitting across and us having our fun, and I miss our studio, downtown. I just, I really do. I miss that whole moment. So I can't wait, guys, because. And the next time we're there, we're going to invite a bunch of you to come down. It's going to be a celebration and a party. So we'll probably see you sometime next week. And toodles for now. Later.
Maryland sports fans, there's only one sports book in the great state of Maryland with over 50 years experience booking bets and supporting customers. Betfred Sportsbook at Longshots is now open and is the only sports book in Frederick offering cash betting on football, basketball, world soccer, and more. Visit the Betfred Sportsbook at I-270 and MD-85 in Frederick, right next to Longshots off-track betting. Go to BetfredSports.com for more information and your chance to win exclusive merchandise. Must be 21 or older. Play responsibly. For help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's NFL draft season, and that means it's time to start thinking about fantasy football. FantasyPoints.com features industry-leading experts and prognosticators using proprietary hand-charted data to help you score more fantasy points. FantasyPoints.com is the place to go for whatever kind of fantasy football you play. Whether you play fantasy football, daily fantasy sports, or do a little bit of everything, Fantasy Points has the meticulously researched content to guide you to victory. And why wait for the fall? Fantasy Points also covers the new spring football league, the UFL. Join the guru, John Hansen, Scott Barrett, Joe Dolan, and other massive names in the fantasy football universe with an exclusive offer. Use code Pantheon for 15% off any Fantasy Points package, including the all-in package, with access to every article, tool, and data nugget that Fantasy Points has to offer. That's FantasyPoints.com and code Pantheon for 15% off at Fantasy Points. FantasyPoints.com, code Pantheon. Score more fantasy points.